Good morning, and welcome to Chapel Chat. I'm Pastor Kevin Little, and this is the chapel at Rantoul First United Methodist Church. Monday is June 19th, also celebrated as the holiday Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the anniversary of the day that the last slaves in the United States were notified that they were free, June 19th, 1865. This was more than 2 months after the official end of the Civil War. On that day, the Union Army arrived in Galveston, Texas, and freed more than 250,000 slaves in Texas. This weekend, communities around the U.S. will be celebrating Juneteenth, and some people will find themselves asking why. Some of those questions might come from a genuine lack of information. We don't really teach this in history class. Others will come from a feeling that this doesn't really matter anymore, if it ever did. It matters. It always has. This is the official end of slavery, and as white people, we tend to gloss over this bit of history as much as possible. It was bad, but it ended 150 years ago, so we're all good now, right? I'm not so sure. If we look at the civil rights movement of the 60s as being still necessary 100 years after the slaves were officially freed, have we really come far enough from that to not pay attention to the lessons that it teaches? We might have freed the slaves, but we didn't make them equal with us as white individuals. The same lessons here apply to women, and we're still having these same conversations about LGBTQ plus individuals as well. It's important to talk about. Now, when I talked about Juneteenth last year, I was just starting to think about my ancestry here in the United States and wondered what my own connections to slavery had been. As I've dug into my genealogy, and especially my Scottish heritage over the last year, I found that my ancestors on the little side had a plantation and owned slaves. Because I am who I am, that had an effect on me. Now I've had to wonder what kind of people we were and how we treated our slaves. And what kind of steps does it take to look at another person and decide that they are property? I like my stuff, but my stuff isn't people. Even my dogs aren't something I really consider to be property. So this is really a hard concept for me to understand how we could even get there. But then, how hard was it to shift that perspective? And I'm not excusing anything, but just recognizing that there would have to be a serious mental shift that happens in those circumstances. But no matter what, it shouldn't have taken hundreds of years, and then the remnants of those thoughts still shouldn't be in our society today. Every year, we celebrate declaring our independence as a nation on the 4th of July. Why wouldn't we celebrate alongside our brothers and sisters as they rejoice in their freedom, which happened long after July 4th, 1776? What does it hurt to stand in solidarity with someone even if we don't fully understand what they are feeling? We don't have to judge it. We don't have to personally have experienced it. We just have to stand up with them and say, I understand that you feel pain, and I'm here. Or, in this case in particular, heck yeah, let's party. So this weekend, as there are Juneteenth celebrations happening around us, join in. Don't drive by and decide that it's silly and doesn't involve you. Stand up in celebration with our fellow community members and rejoice in the fact that they are rejoicing. Thanks for joining me for another Chapel Chat. Have a great week.